Hello again. Same place, different time. And today I wanted to share a story that I have been told by a man whom I worked with for a long time. It was some years ago, but that story actually came up today. So I've decided to share it with you. It's about a homeless man, and being homeless has led him to become a very well camper. He knew a lot about the different regions in which you can camp. He was very well informed about the different tools you need to take, the security measurements you have to keep in mind. And I've learned a lot from him in regards to camping and surviving in the wild nature. And he told me a story about his encounter with a young lady. It was a summer day, and he was just on his way back from camping, walking outside the forest, or in the path that was leading outside the forest. He met a young lady, and she was walking that same path, but she was walking inside the forest to camp there by herself. And she was asking him for advice. She told him that she would be camping alone, and she wanted to know if he could recommend a good place for her near the water. And so he told her where she could be camping. And he told her a lot of different other information that he found useful to her. And after that, he walked outside the forest. And while I was working with him, he told me that story. And while he was telling me about that story, he mentioned that one thing that he likes most about being a camper is that he can use his protection side of him. So, as a man who by now lives in a home with a family, children, and a wife, he gives great value to the topic of protection. And being a father and a husband, he focuses a lot on how to protect his own family. Of course, also when they go camping together. And while he was telling me all of that, he said that he found it very fascinated. He was very fascinated about the naivety of that young lady telling him that she would be camping alone. Because a lot of bad things could have happened to her. Because in his eyes, she was not protecting herself. And she was very careless. That's how he viewed her. And that story came up today on my path because I was wondering and thinking and asking myself about the path, my personal path on social media. And so I remembered that story. And the reason why I've decided to share that story with you is because in my reflection on that story, I felt that in a lot of different areas, no matter how this might resonate for you, but I find that applicable in a lot of different scenarios. And I believe that there is the one side of the story is to be vulnerable and to share, to allow people to get the context, the personality, the idea, the vision. And on the other side, there's the question of protection and how do we actually maintain a balance in between building communities, because I believe that's what we do once we open up. We can then find people who share the same values, who share the same experiences, and who are also being vulnerable with us. So, on one side, there's this vulnerability part and communities that can become a result out of that. And on the other side, there's the focus on protection and safety, self-love, preservance. And I believe that it might seem as a duality at first sight. But even if that would be true, it doesn't mean that both truths, both perspectives can't exist at the same time. Which is why my take out of that story is to share it with you. And by that, noticing where vulnerability meets community. Short and sweet, 8 minutes and 8 seconds. So I guess that was what I wanted to share with you today. And I'm curious on how you would look at that story, how it may be resonating with you in different areas of your life. Maybe you can feel that struggle from a sense too, because there's always the question on how much do I open myself up and at the same time keep the safe space to myself, and how much do I maybe focus more the one or the other side. I would be really happy to see how it resonates with you. And see you in the next one tomorrow. Until then, have a great time, day, night, morning. And I appreciate you.